While originally being a more casual-oriented game, Fortnite has always had a competitive side. From even its very beginning, players have sought ways to prove their skills and triumph over others. Nowadays, resources such as the official competitive tournament leaderboards exist to document player achievements. However, back in the earliest days, there was none of that, so players needed to resort to other means to prove their skills, and in those early days, there was no bigger determinant of sheer skill than the solo versus squads kill record. This is the world record progression of the Fortnite Solo Squads Record. Before getting into the records, a quick clarification of console versus PC records needs to be made. You see, back in the early days of Fortnite, console and PC were on separate matchmaking. This means that console players only played against other console players and vice versa. This meant that console lobbies were much easier due to the hardware limitations of playing on console, so this video will focus exclusively on PC records, as that is where the vast majority of the best players were on and where the majority of records were set. Fortnite Battle Royale launched on September 26, 2017, and despite its novelty, many would immediately get good and start taking it seriously. The first major solo vs squads match was put up only 5 days after the game released, when on October 1st, Linden FBS would get 27 kills in a single match. And yes, that Linden FBS, the one known for his insane rage moments. Linden formerly played H1Z1 and was very good at it, even holding some records on it, so it was no surprise that he was immediately good at Fortnite. Looking at the gameplay, it's easy to see why the skill set carried over, as players rarely ever built, so game sense and aim alone were enough to thrive. This is a trend that would be seen in many of the subsequent records on this list. Just 2 days later on October 3rd, OPSDT would top Linden's record, getting 29 kills in the solo vs squads match. Just like Linden, OP had a background in battle royale shooters such as H1Z1, so it's no surprise that he picked up Fortnite so easily. Nothing about this record really stands out from Linden's. OP just simply ran into more players during the match, but it was still very impressive nonetheless. However, OP didn't even win this game either. He died while there were still 3 other players remaining, so this could have easily been a 30 bomb. As a result, the race to 30 began, with the best at the time, such as Grims and High Distortion, going for it. But on October 31st, the record would be demolished by Gingerpop, who got 33 kills in a single match. Gingerpop formerly played Overwatch and was ranked pretty high in the ladder of that game. Besides using building a bit more, nothing about the gameplay really changed. Ginger just had a better time finding players. For the month of November, things remained quiet, but just at the turn of the next month, another record was set. A French player named Xu would get 34 kills in a match of solo squads. Unlike previous records, it was clear there was a bit of evolution in the gameplay at this point. While building was far from being mastered at this point, it was clear that the game's best players were grasping how powerful it could be and began using it a lot more. Weirdly enough, all of these record holders opted to use the TAC shotgun as opposed to using the pump. Despite the pump hitting a lot harder and even having the potential to one-shot full HP opponents, the TAC was preferred. But looking into the stats, it's easy to see why. At the time, the TAC shotgun still had a 2.5x headshot multiplier and did 74 base damage, meaning that headshots dealt a whopping 185. Keep in mind, this was an automatic shotgun, so in combination with opponents never building, it actually made sense to take the TAC over the pump. However, Season 2 was just around the corner and things would begin to change just like my subscriber count, which you guys can change even more by liking and subscribing if you so wish. With the release of Season 2, the hype for Fortnite was rising exponentially. This meant that many new players would hop on and make lobbies easier, while good players were simultaneously getting better at building. Despite this, records for solo squads would become much more infrequent. On February 8, 2018, a French player named G-Masta beat the record, getting 35 kills in solo squads. As stated before, the mechanics of Fortnite began to progress around this time. As a result, the pump shotgun became the shotgun of choice for good players to use, due to its one-shot potential. However, the biggest surprise of all was the lack of double pump in any of these records. For how much of a pedestal double pump was put on, and still to this day is put on, none of these record setters ever used it. It seemed like players just preferred to have extra slots to hold a sniper as opposed to 2 shotguns. But on April 17, 2018, pro player Funkbomb would drop 37 kills in a solo squads match. By this point, it was Season 3 of Fortnite and the skill ceiling had only progressed further, and unlike previous runs, double shotguns were finally utilized. Despite the clear increase in skill, the lobby that Funkbomb played was clearly a lucky seed full of potato players, but at the end of the day, that's what setting kill records is about, just getting that one lucky lobby full of potatoes and managing to hunt them down before others did. Even though kill records were becoming less frequent, the skill progression of the game's best players was outpacing it, and only 2 weeks later on April 30th, the solo squad's kill record would be demolished. On this day, a Belgian pro named Tixi would drop a staggering 45 kills in a solo squads match. Prior to this, Tixi was a well-known player in the community for his daily 30 bombs, so it's no surprise he would eventually claim this record. Now, there is a small caveat, as his kill counter only registered 43 kills. You see, the last 4 players were skybasing, with 2 of them jumping to their death after Tixi shot it out, meaning he didn't get the kill credit. As for the record, Tixi got an optimal lobby and played it near perfect. In fact, this record was so perfect that nobody would even come close to touching it, not for a long time. Not only was Tixi's record way ahead of what anyone else was putting up at the time, but this was also the era when competitive Fortnite began. At this time, Epic Games began hosting official tournaments with the promise of huge prize pools, which was infinitely more appealing than killing potato players in pubs, so for the next year, nothing happened. But this would change in February of 2019. On February 14th, Epic Games dropped patch 7.4, which introduced many beloved changes, but most importantly, it added Cipher to pubs. Now one of the biggest barriers to getting high kill games had been removed. Good players could steamroll through lobbies without needing to pause to heal, and just a week later on February 20th, pro player Camo would finally top Tixi's record and get 46 kills in a solo squads match. While the skill of the average player had progressed immensely since Tixi's record, so did the skill of the top pros. Combine this with Cipher and it meant that the increase in player skill wasn't really an issue for most top pros. This was a new era for Fortnite kill records, yet this would be the last time a solo squad's kill record would be set for the next few years. During 2019, the modern day landscape of Fortnite competitive began to be shaped. Online tournaments hosted every week open to everyone, worldwide LANs, all with immense prize pools never before seen in esports. Bundle this with the removal of Cipher and pubs and the community just wasn't interested in going for high kill games anymore. But it's not like pros could even attempt to go for high kill games anymore anyway, due to one single change. In October of 2019, Epic Games made the questionable decision of adding AI-controlled players to pub matches in order to address the skill gap issue. This put the nail in the coffin for kill records, since nobody considers kills on AIs to be actually legitimate. The issue was so bad that lobbies would sometimes be 3/4 AI. From this point onward, pros exclusively focused on tournaments, and the solo squad's kill record would lay dormant for a long, long time. But in May of 2023, 4.5 years later, things began to look up. Epic Games unveiled their new ranked mode, and while it failed in every aspect at facilitating competitive matches, there is one thing it did well. Ranked mode didn't have AIs, meaning that you could now queue up a squad's playlist that didn't have AIs. Despite this opportunity to once again break the solo squad's record, it would take a few months for anything to happen. Pro players were simply too focused on tournaments to bother, but in November of 2023, nearly 5 years after Camo's 46 kill record, something finally happened. During that month, Fortnite was in its OG season, meaning no FNCS or tournaments, so pros were able to kick back and enjoy ranked mode. And on November 26, pro player Reine would drop a staggering 50 kills in a solo squads match. This record pretty much broke the Fortnite community, leaving many in disbelief. It was done in Unreal Ranked, no Siphon, all while live streaming. Despite Season OG ending not long after in December, Reine would top this yet again. On May 9, 2024, Reine would get 52 kills in a solo versus squads match. This record was also insane, but there seems to be a bit of debate around it since it was done in Diamond rank. But since Fortnite ranked mode is a joke anyway, the ranks really have no bearing on actual skill level, so I think it counts. And this is where the record stands today. It's hard to say whether or not this record will be beaten anytime soon. The second rendition of the OG season is now in full swing, so some might attempt to go for the record for old time's sake. However, with how focused most pros are on tournaments, I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see similar content, then like, subscribe, follow my socials, and check out the video on your screen now.